Hey everyone, SIGGRAPH is coming, but when you register, you have to choose which pass to get, and that can be complicated. Let's talk about it. And while you watch this video and wait for your render to finish, click subscribe. When it comes time to choose which pass you want at SIGGRAPH, it can be a little complicated. The biggest pass is quite expensive and the smallest pass is virtually free. So I wanted to walk through what pass should you maybe get depending on what your intentions are or what you want to get out of the conference. So let's roll through those right now. I'm going to go ahead and look at the SIGGRAPH 2022 website, and you'll be able to see the registration link right there at the top. There's 5 tiers. There's the full conference pass, the virtual conference pass, experience plus, experience, and exhibit only. Let's go through all of these, and let's start with what's this virtual conference stuff. Well, SIGGRAPH is offering a bit of a hybrid approach, so there is a physical conference going on, but there are some things that are being offered both virtually and on site, and there are other things that are only being offered virtually. So you need to figure out what it is you want to go to and decide which one to get. Now, I'm always going to start with suggesting to anyone going, really, if they can afford it, to get the full conference pass. The idea is if you're going to be going to SIGGRAPH, you want to get as much value out of your experience as possible, and the full conference pass offers you that. So first, you're going to see full conference pass, and you're also going to see a full conference supporter. Now, what's the difference when you see this supporter version versus a regular version? Well, if you look, this is basically where they add a little bit of money to the total, and that's to allow you to help support all of the students that they subsidize to bring to the show at a discounted rate. So you're donating extra money to the SIGGRAPH organization, basically. But when you're a full conference supporter, the cost is going to be $13.90 if you're a member and $15.95 if you're a non-member. Now, that is very expensive, I admit, but in a moment, we're going to go through everything that gives you. Now, you'll notice there is a difference between the non-member and member price. Understand it's very inexpensive to become a member of the SIGGRAPH organization. So if you become a member, then you'll find you can get the member price. And the difference between those two is far more than the member price. So generally what I recommend is anyone getting the full conference supporter pass or the full conference pass in general, they want to get the membership in addition to that. You'll notice that virtually everything in the left-hand column is covered by the full conference pass. If they offer it at SIGGRAPH, it's available. Now, there are some things you'll see as we go through the other passes that aren't available to everyone. It's important that you focus on what's unique to this ticket. In this case, you see things like the electronic theater ticket. You can buy one on the side, but it comes with this one automatically. You'll also see things like emerging technology, the exhibition floor. These are available at the other pass levels. So in a moment, we're going to go look at those other ones, and we'll keep revisiting this list to see how they compare. This list is available on the website if you just want to go look at it yourself. So what I'm going to jump to is all the way to the other end, which is the exhibits only pass. Now, the exhibits only pass just costs $30 pretty much for everyone, regardless if you're a member or not. This will get you on the floor. This will allow you to walk and see all the booths. You'll be able to see a little bit of what they're offering in some of the other areas, but you won't have full access to all of the areas, and you certainly won't have full access to all of the speaking engagements. A lot of people go for the Birds of a Feather conference, and you'll find that this one does not get you in to the Birds of a Feather conference. If we look at the exhibits only pass, you'll see that you can't go to most of the talks. You can't get into the village. The Birds of a Feather talks are not available to you. Neither are the courses. The exhibition hall is available to you. That's basically what the exhibits pass gets you. And you can go to the job fair. So this is most often what students or young artists, buy, especially if they're local to the area that SIGGRAPH is happening. It only costs you $30. That's such a low friction point to get in. And truth be told, if you hunt out there, you will find that there are exhibit only floor passes available for free if you get the right code from the right vendor. So that's all I'll say about that. You're smart and know how to use Google. Next is the experience package. Now, this is where it starts to open up a little bit more. You still have to pay a fairly hefty fee of around $260 if you get it after the 29th of June. Having the experience pass gives you access to, of course, the exhibition floor, but it gives you access to the art gallery, the Appy Hour, which is a social event. You can get access to the emerging technologies floor, the exhibitor sessions, the experience presentations. You can see if you look at the grid here, you get a lot with the experience pass. You'll find a lot of people will find that that is actually enough for them. You can see it doesn't get you into birds of a feather. If you're wondering what birds of a feather are, generally they're a series of talks that are an open floor forum for the most part. Not always, but most of them allow for a very robust Q&A or interactive discussion with the audience. So the birds of a feather talks are, in my mind, some of the meatiest, best, most educational discussions you can get, because you hear from different people, their experiences, real time. So I highly recommend the birds of a feather. Of course, I myself have 3 different birds of a feather events that I'm co-organizing. One of them is the Bridging the Gap discussion I do with my wife. Another one is render farming, and another one is studio storage. So by getting a Experience Plus pass, you'll actually get access to the birds of a feather and a whole lot more than just the Experience Pass. The Experience Plus pass gets a little steep. It comes in at $515, whether you're a member or not, if you buy it after June 29th. So here again, it's a little pricey, but if you're going out of your way to go to SIGGRAPH and you want to get the full value, this might be the way to bridge the gap, no pun intended, between the entry-level costs and that big full conference pass cost. This is really that middle ground. So I know a lot of my coworkers that'll likely go for this versus the full conference pass because they don't really want the full conference pass. This is often someone who's more technical maybe, or doesn't really need to go to all the production sessions. They might be interested in this pass. You can fill your day with SIGGRAPH and have more than enough things to do just having this Experience Plus pass. But again, I always recommend that you go for the full pass if you can get your employer to pay for it, or you can get it subsidized, or in any way, shape, or form achieve a full conference pass. You will get your full experience. With these higher end passes, you get a lot more access to the recorded and virtual sessions. After the fact, you can go back and look and do more research on the things that were discussed at SIGGRAPH. So getting the higher end passes are a lot more valuable. And then, of course, this year, because they have both a hybrid, virtual, and on-site conference, there's this other pass, which hasn't really been there in prior years before the pandemic, and that's the virtual conference pass. Now, this is basically the entire virtual platform and the access to all of the live stream recordings and recorded content that's going on. You get the full access to this, but you're doing it virtually. So this is for people who want to really experience as much as they can about SIGGRAPH, but can't travel to Vancouver to go see it. It's the counterpart to the full conference pass, but for those who can't travel. If you traditionally go to SIGGRAPH year after year and you just can't go this year because of either pandemic concerns or for whatever the reason, you might want to consider getting the full virtual conference pass. And of course, this allows you birds with feather access as well as access to most of the other virtual platforms that are going on. It's never really easy which one to choose. For me, most of the time, I go for the full conference pass. Of course, I get subsidies from my employer, so that makes it a little different. But I've gone on my own, and if you hunt really hard and you know someone who works deep inside SIGGRAPH, I have once had access to a free comp full conference pass, but it was only once, and I asked for it a whole bunch of years. So you really got to know someone or be lucky to get a full conference complimentary pass. But if you do, treat it like gold and go there and learn everything you possibly can. SIGGRAPH to me is where I start and begin my year. I go into SIGGRAPH with all kinds of ideas. I go into SIGGRAPH and learn all kinds of new things, and I leave SIGGRAPH with all kinds of new ideas and ideas to pursue and different kind of technologies I may want to roll out or start trying to make available to the studios. To me, this is the event of the year. Of course, this year it's happening in Vancouver, which is where I live. So you're going to see me there. Keep your eyes out for me. If you see me on the floor, say hi. I'm going to be there the full time. I'm getting a hotel downtown. I'm going to be going to all the parties, so check with me as to where those are happening. Can't wait to see you all at SIGGRAPH, and thanks for all your support.